Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. My name is Stella Murezi, and I am the guardian of the vision of the Well Systems Institute. I'm a certified code model coach, and I work with women who are seeking transformation because they're looking to connect to that deep, inner, authentic part of themselves. Today I want to share with you a little bit about my personal story of transformation. The title of this experience is Transformation Requires Safety, Science, and a Touch of the Sacred. That has been the truth of my experience of what it takes to actually become the transformation that you are seeking, that I was seeking. Safety, as it turns out, comes from telling ourselves the truth of our own experience, being willing to be real and raw and authentic inside our own selves in order to discover what's meaningful for us, what's real and what's true for us, as opposed to what we have been told is real and true by another. So there's a lot of information out there, there's a lot of content out there, and increasingly more is actually happening. Like more content, more information, more. And the invitation for me, for you, right here, right now, is to mindfully and intentionally slow down. Slow down your breathing, slow down the thoughts that are moving through your head, slow down the experience that you're having in your body. Because it is only in slowing down that we can actually hear ourselves, that we can hear the truth of our own experience. So, when I learned how to slow down as a way of life, when I learned how to become that which I was seeking in the world, I discovered that I really had to sit and feel. I really had to be with my own inner states and do that on a platform of compassion for myself. Do that from a place of really sincerely caring for my own self. Caring in such a way that may not have been available to me otherwise. So I spent about a decade of my adult life addicted to drugs and diagnosed with so many diagnoses that I didn't know what to do with, quite honestly. Things like borderline personality disorder and bipolar disorder and anxiety and depression and all of these different things. By the time I was 21, I was to my eyeballs with drugs, both legal and illegal. And it wasn't until I came to this point where it's like at the edge of something where I just couldn't live like that anymore. I had finished my master's degree. I was with the man of my dreams that I'm currently married to, still the man of my dreams. I was living this really externally incredible life. For anybody to look at that life, it would be, wow, you're living the dream. But inside of myself, I was dying. And I was dying because there was a disconnect. There was a disconnect between what I knew at a deep, visceral level and the life that I was living. So I was living someone else's perfect life. It was not my perfect life. So I know very well how to fight and how to brace and how to really go. And the invitation for me was to go deep. So there's a lot, like I said, on the internet today where glimpses of a thing, where you get to like this one little thing and there's catharsis and there's another little thing, but there's not profound regenerative transformation. And I think a lot of the women, particularly the women that are attracted to this exploration here, women like you, are seeking far more than incremental change. They're seeking to transform how they relate primarily to themselves, and in doing so, how they relate to others in their life and to how they relate to their own communities and work and life in general. So I have discovered that in order for me to be authentic, to live from a platform of authenticity, I have got to be willing to slow myself down sufficiently so that I can hear the truth of my experience. So I can hear what's meaningful for me. So I can hear what's real for me, as opposed to what's a story that someone else has told me. So, like I told you, I've got a master's degree. I'm a certified yoga teacher. I could be doing anything else with my life. But guess what? I choose to engage with women in meaningful, expansive, life-giving, life-altering conversations because that is what I discovered for myself. It's like in being in these conversations, I learned how to live empowered. I learned how to live congruently. I learned how to live from the essence of my very being. So now, in recognizing that power for myself and going from addict for over a decade, living quote unquote a perfect life, seeking solutions in all the wrong places, right? Intimacy with another out here, like Narcotics Anonymous and, Buddhist retreat, etc., etc. In searching for that, what I was missing, the critical key piece that I was missing, was connection to my own inner self, to my own authentic truth. So, in living this way, in persistently, consistently living from a platform of curiosity about myself, from a platform of compassion for myself, for that which I don't know that I didn't know, right? There's a lot that I didn't know that was the undercurrent that was running the show of my life. And having discovered a lot of what I didn't know and staying curious to what else it is that I don't know, as opposed to compressing myself to the box of what I was told I should know and I internalized as real, that may or may not have been, I discovered how else to live my life. And that has become something that I now am deeply passionate about because it's how I live. Because it's the essence of my being and it's the essence of what's meaningful for me to share with the world. And I know that it's not a strategy, right? It's not I read a book and I now apply the strategies of what I read in that book. It's who I have now become, which is very different than a strategy, because a strategy is someone else's creation. But when I am connected to my own inner truth, when I'm connected to my own intention, when my attention is on the power of my own intention, as opposed to scattered and what everybody else has to say or thinks, I become far more willing, far more able to actually create the life that I'm seeking to create, the life that I'm here to live, the life that is my birthright. And I know that this way of living is not easy. It really is not easy. It demands time. It demands creating internal space to actually hear. It demands a community of women that are seeking to actively empower themselves as well as each other. It takes the willingness to get to know oneself, to face the good, the bad, and the ugly, to face all of it, because it's in facing all of it that we discover the jewel that lives quite deep inside our core, inside our bellies, inside our very being. It takes that platform of curiosity for oneself and curiosity for the unknown, that when it becomes known, it reveals to us layers upon layers upon layers of our own inner states. And most importantly, a platform of compassion. Compassion for ourselves, compassion for what we don't know, compassion for people who raised us, compassion for being in this world and trying not to be of it, right? Because the essence of our being is not to be of this world. And something happened here that transformed that and shifted that. And now we're learning that as we become internally safe, and safety from the paradigm of my world is an inside job. So when I discover how to breathe and be in my body, how to calibrate for safety in my nervous system, so how to sufficiently transform the neurology of my nervous system and how I connect to that deep inner truth that just won't leave me alone, no matter the drugs, no matter the intellect, no matter the how-to books. When I connect to that truth, evolution is a natural byproduct of that state of being. So, and there's a lot of science that, this talk is far too short for that, but there's a lot of science in the quantum world. The observer affects the outcome. So I am both particle and a wave. My thoughts are both particle and a wave until, with the power of my own intentionality, I shape it to take a particular direction. And the direction that I shape it in could be habituated. And for me, it led to absolute, utter misery, because those were the habits that I learned when I was 4 years old. And I continued to replicate. Or I can choose to interrupt those patterns and discover how else I might choose to live my life today. And that question has been the saving grace for me over the last 7 years. So this is why I do the work that I do, because it's so important to me that the women that are seeking transformation find it. This is why I chose to come here and share a little bit of my story, a little bit of my process with you. So if you would like to get to know what I do, you're welcome to check out my site, sparkingthesacred.com. What I've done is in the title, I don't use Facebook, so this is I just created Facebook for this particular experience. So in the title section, I have posted a link to an 8-day mini e-course. It's multidisciplinary, so you get reading in there, you get some audio files in there, relatively short but potent, and you get journaling workshop at the end of it that you can sit with yourself and just explore. And throughout the process over the 8 days, you will discover what are the fundamentals that are required for you to begin to take ownership of your own life. What are the fundamentals that are required to slow down as opposed to seek to constantly catch up? So the paradox is that it is in slowing down that we catch up to our own selves, to our own truth, to our own authentic relating to ourselves. So join the course, 8 days, check it out for yourself. If you're curious about my work, if you want to talk to me about absolutely anything that's meaningful to you, that you want to share with me, I would love to hear from you. So please feel free to email me. I'd love to have a chat with you. We can set up a 30-minute talk and just talk. Nothing to lose, just talk. Women talking has transformed the world more times than I can count. Thank you for being here, truly. Thank you for showing up live. Thank you for listening to my story. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, this is supposed to be 15 minutes. I'd like to honor that. And it's so weird. I'm looking at the camera because I'm really big. So let me know. I would love to hear from you. I'll be there when you're ready to have a conversation. Thank you so much. I hope you have a spectacular rest of the day. I hope you choose to mindfully and intentionally just take a deep breath to the base of your spine and allow yourself to catch up to yourself.